Hey, a quick note about this segment. I have to confess, I sat on this piece for way too long. This was our first interview at American Artist Road Trip almost a year and a half ago. I kept putting off editing this piece because I wanted it to be perfect. And now, after all this time, I realize nothing in life is perfect. So let's just finish it with a purpose. Originally, this was going to be just a standard interview, but I realized I had way too much expressive content. I switched gears and decided to let the images do most of the talking in this final edit. I also decided to keep in the following intro intact, just because it's kind of quirky and cool. So now, let's focus on amazing photojournalist Lucia De Giovanni. Something that I think is really cool in Denver are these creative boutique style apartments around town. Using recycled materials that bring a new life and visual attraction to these eclectic living spaces. These apartments are fun and functional at the same time, each one with its own theme. What I really like is the Aperture Apartments, and once you're inside, you'll see why. Once you're inside the lobby of the Aperture Apartments, you can't miss the hundreds of vintage cameras adhered to the walls from past decades. There are some real classic models here. Then once inside the rest of the building, you will notice that most of the access decor consists of photographic images and old photography signs on every floor. That was pretty cool, and what I thought would be a perfect intro to our next segment on photographer Lucia De Giovanni. I don't think I've ever met anyone who absolutely loves doing what they do for a living as much as Lucia. She sees a light in everyone and everything that no one else seems to capture. We met up on an autumn morning at Jen's art salon in Denver. And what I found was a creative, unselfish, and charming artist who's always striving for perfection in her images and storytelling. Winner of the 2010 Simon Rockower Award, achieving first place for excellence in photography, she has become a photojournalist in demand. Do you remember buying your first camera or the first camera somebody gave you?
Yes, actually. I was 14 years old and I was living in Paris at the time, and I was going to school there. And my parents had given me this little point and shoot. And so that I could just go ahead and finally send them back home some pictures and show them what I was seeing. And I fell in love with it, and it was just like, that's it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And it's become a passion.
Oh, yeah.
What I really like about your work is there's so much texture in what you shoot. There's so much life. I mean, you're capturing everyday life.
Yeah.
With your own twist to it, I think. That's what I really like. It really grabbed me about your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Being a photojournalist, you just, I remember my mentor, my mentor is David Burnett, the photojournalist. And I studied him and was always wondering how is it that he captures that particular moment, and how is it that, one half a second before or half a second after, it would just not work. I studied him for, now 20-something years. I don't really process my photographs with, Photoshop and, all of that stuff.
They're pretty raw.
They are very raw, but, that's the beauty of it.
It's really obvious that music's a big part of your life, and you love to shoot music.
Music is a huge part of my life. I think there are so many similarities in creative process with a musician, and music and photography go hand in hand to me. I have a lot of affinity towards music. Oh, this is Sia, who gave me the thumbs up. She almost crashed my website. She gave me a little shout out on Twitter. I love your pictures! And sent a link to my website, and it's like, boom, 30,000 hits.
She recently returned from shooting the iconic band live and shot some stunning photos, which can be tricky considering this band has been photographed to the extreme in the last 20 years. She really captured emotion and raw ambiance with these photos. Lucia lives in the present moment, and it shows in her portraits.
I love to be able to show people how I see them. So whenever somebody says to me, I just can't be in front of the camera, and it's yay.
And they're always surprised when they see the final.
Yeah, in a very pleasant way. And so, I never seen myself like this before. My pictures remain true to the subject, and to what I see, so they can see themselves as well. When you're able to actually get the people to see themselves in that light, on a daily basis,
Right.
Success.
To see them in a true light.
Yeah. I think that if you do love something so much, it never feels like work.
She easily immerses herself in her subjects. The Love Project featured more than 100 couples in love, and each shoot lasts no longer than a minute. She only asks them to show her what their love looks like. This was so popular, it turned into sort of a sequel, showing the love of someone with their dog. The My Life Project recorded photos of hospice patients at the end of life's journey, some even in their final hours. She seems to capture beauty and peace at a moment when most people would see death.
But I want people to know, I get a lot of clients from it, and I really want them to know who I am, and so I struggled a little bit with, just using it as a marketing tool, but a lot of people hire me because of me. So, it's not just the images that I can produce. And so it's very important that people get this trust, and I think that's how I get the photographs that I get. I approach everything with, I approach each photo shoot the way that I approach my life. So, I'm very lighthearted and, just goofy and whatever, but I am very, very honest and truthful in what my intention is.
Her portfolio is so diverse and vast, with a running thread of life and how people live it. It's almost poetic to hear her speak about the images shot in her homeland of Italy.
It's always a piece of Venice. It's never really like the whole San Marco Square or the whole gondola with me. It's always a piece of something. People are fascinating. Right. People are beautiful. They're just everybody has their own story, if you just sit down and sit down and talk to somebody, right?
And Lucia's story is always evolving.
I shoot for fun a lot, and I challenge myself a lot. I love to